Hi, here we are again this week. We're here to talk about Alzheimer's. And at some time in your life, it is likely that you're going to be impacted by someone who has Alzheimer's or dementia. First, I'd like to talk about what the difference is between Alzheimer's and dementia. My husband's sweet mother had dementia, and during her last few years of life was considered as having severe dementia. We were taken back, though, when the care facility where she had been living approached us about moving her to the Alzheimer's wing. They told us that was where she would receive the best care. Okay, she had never been diagnosed as having Alzheimer's, so we were a little confused. In doing research, we found that the term dementia actually refers to a set of symptoms and is really not a disease. The symptoms can be a result of Alzheimer's, or they can be a result of some other cognitive disorder, a nutrient deficiency, or even be caused by some medications. Now, Alzheimer's is usually diagnosed by a combination of dementia-type symptoms, but can only be diagnosed for certain after death. Alzheimer's does account for 60 to 70% of people who suffer from the symptoms of dementia. Alzheimer's usually progresses slowly with a gradual decline over a period of 7 to 10 years. Every case of Alzheimer's is different for most people, so it can be, there can be a huge difference in how family and friends and caregivers help that person. Even though dementia is not actually considered a disease, a person is considered to having serious dementia when they are not able to mentally take care of 2 or more personal daily activities. Now, back to our experience with my husband's mother. I will call her Mom for the rest of this conversation. Mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, but Mom was never diagnosed with Alzheimer's, but she did have severe dementia, especially the last 5 years of her life. In the early stages, about 10 years prior to Mom's death, she started having trouble balancing her checkbook and writing checks. Then she had a couple of accidents when driving. One was just a fender bender. The other did major damage to the finish on her car. No one was injured, but it could have easily been serious. It was at that point that we suggested it was okay if she didn't want to drive any longer. She never had liked to drive, so that wasn't a huge deal, although it did take away much of her independence. I will not go into the entire progression of Mom's dementia, but can make a few suggestions from our experience. Stress is a huge factor. Due to our situation, we made the choice to move Mom to a retirement, independent living, 1-bedroom apartment, where 2 meals a day were furnished in the dining room, and they provided housekeeping once a week. That move proved to be a very, very stressful event for her. She later broke her hip, did not remember to pull the cord for help, so she laid on the floor most of one night. She had to be hospitalized, have surgery, and be moved to a care facility for what we had planned to be for rehab. She ended up being hospitalized 2 more times within 1 month, first with pneumonia and then with a serious C. diff infection. Needless to say, each of the changes I just mentioned took a toll on Mom's brain function. Each incident increased her confusion and her dementia. So if you have any say about care for someone in the early stages of Alzheimer's or dementia, try to keep change to a minimum. In other words, avoid moves if at all possible. After Mom broke her hip and had to be moved to a care facility, her dementia did not allow her to learn to walk again. She had the physical ability to do the therapy, but her mind would not allow her to realize she needed to put some effort into learning to walk. We had planned to move her into our home as soon as she learned to walk again, but we could not do so because of all the stairs in our house. During the 5 years Mom lived in the care facility, she had to change rooms 6 times. Each of those changes were traumatic for her. Change adds to confusion for someone with dementia or Alzheimer's. Now, most care facilities do a great job considering their limitations of staff. However, our experience was that they often make decisions to make their job easier. For example, they will give him medications without the permission of family, simply to calm somebody down and to make it easier to take care of them. I cannot say how many times Mom was given anti-anxiety and antidepressant medications rather than addressing the pain she was having. Pain is a huge trigger for dementia-type symptoms. What a difference in Mom's mental state when the pain was addressed and she was taken off the anti-anxiety and antidepressant medications. My opinion is that so often people are over-medicated or at least put on the wrong medication. If it ever happens that you have a loved one that has to be in a care facility, please be totally involved in their care. We were involved in Mom's care and were able to make sure things were corrected that were causing her harm. Actually, most care facilities love for family to be involved in decisions regarding their loved ones. When approaching them about an issue, though, do it with kindness and be an advocate for all the residents of the facility. In conclusion, Alzheimer's and dementia is complicated. There are no set guidelines for care. One size does not fit every situation. Inform yourself about these mental conditions. Start now to do what you can to reduce your risk of developing Alzheimer's or dementia. If you have not read the PDF I put up on Monday, please take time to read it now. Will you be able to prevent ending life with Alzheimer's or severe dementia? I cannot say I will never have dementia or Alzheimer's. However, I do believe I am improving my odds by eating properly and taking supplements. It's all about risk management and making good choices. Thanks.